This episode of Geek-men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds is brought to you by our sponsors, Super7, Nerd Gear, SWA Sabers, and the Madness Entertainment Group. And with us today, we have Brian Flynn. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Dustin?
You know, hanging in there.
Right,
Oh, man. So, dude, what have you been up to? Anything good?
What have I been up to?
Anything good?
I'm up to my armpits in it.
Yeah,
we're in mid 27 right now in terms of planning and getting sort of party started. So I don't know. It's the end of the year. We're a couple weeks away from Christmas, and the next thing you know, it's 26, and then it's a whole nother year of exciting releases to come out. And I know that sounds a little passe, maybe, I don't know, or a little scripted, but it's sort of like we don't really release anything new from this point on in the year because it's Christmas and there's not a lot of time, and everybody's spending money on other people for the most part. They'll start buying stuff for themselves again in January. So we'll start dropping new stuff in January. So in some ways, it's sort of like, okay, got to get all this done. But then there's so much work that has to get done through the month of January because, Lunar New Year, often referred to as Chinese New Year, but it's not just China, is end of January, beginning of February. It all sort of depends. But it's like, okay, we got 1 month to get everything done because then nothing happens in February. Nothing ships. March, only half of what you think is going to get done gets done. 75% gets done in April, and you're back to kind of full speed in May. So we got a lot of work to get stuff out between January 1 and January 31. So
okay. So does it look like you're ahead of the game or on?
We're in the game.
Okay.
We're in the game. Certain projects are ahead, certain projects are behind, certain projects are on time. I think that's sort of par for the course. That's even sort of my schedule for dishes, I think.
Yeah. Mine is all just behind. My dishes, when it comes to dishes. It's like,
only when I have to.
Right. It's like, I need to wash a dish. I guess I'll wash one now. But yeah, I hear you. But so did you happen to get anything in the box?
Did I happen to get anything in the box?
Yes. I had said if you happen to get anything in the box, because we have a segment where we talk about, hey, what you get in the box.
Oh, okay. I was like, did you send me a box and I didn't know about it?
No.
You're talking about things that I got.
Yeah.
Oh,
anything that you want to talk about,
Things that I got. I've gotten a few boxes lately. Sort of spanning. I think I've got a box spanning each of the different things that I collect. Not really worth any money, but something I've been looking for forever. There was a youth crew era straight edge band called Insight from Salt Lake City, who put out a 7-inch called Standing Strong. It was later repressed on Victory. It's a really good 7-inch, criminally overlooked. And I learned this record came out in, I think, 88 or 89. And I found out in the late 90s, I think on the Rev boards, that there was an orange vinyl variant of it. And I've been looking for that record since then. They only made 100 on orange. And years ago, I met one of the band members, and he didn't know what I was even talking about.
Wow.
And then earlier, a couple months ago, I was talking to Gentry, most famous from Iceburn, which Insight involved into Iceburn. He didn't have one, but he was like, I think Chubba has one. So I got in touch with Chubba, and he's like, oh, yeah, I got 2 of those. And I was like, you got 2 of those?
2?
That means there's an extra, right? And so I just got that in the mail literally yesterday. Here, I'm going to pull up my photos. So not only did I get the Insight on orange, but he also had a test pressing and a sticker. So here, we can do that. This will go on the Instagrams most likely tomorrow.
No, I didn't want to do that.
That was the wrong one. Not that anybody really cares about that.
What the heck? Oh, here we go.
There we go. So there is the Insight 7-inch
Oh, wow.
on orange that took me 26 or 27 years to track down.
That's crazy.
So that's so in terms of records, there were 3 records left on my sort of top want list.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a whole bunch of like, if I get it, it's nice, but it's not that big a deal. And that was one of the 3. So I checked one of those off this year. So checking any one of those off is monumental.
Yeah.
I did that. And then I posted a thing the other day on a Necros set list that came from Bill Danforth. And I was lucky enough to get a bunch of really cool stuff out of Bill's archive here lately. So that was really cool. Just punk rock and skateboard history stuff there.
Yeah.
On the toy front, I picked up a couple new Japanese vinyls, and there's a couple obscure Italian Micronaut packaging variants that I needed that I picked up.
Nice.
But I don't have a photo of those on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's been the boxes here lately. You get to a certain point and it's like, I'm not sure if I'm willing to pay for the stuff I need.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. I'm right there with you some of the times.
Yeah. But in the case like this Insight 7, it's just not particularly valuable in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like to most record collectors, it's probably $100 record. Which, if anybody pays attention to old punk rock records, that's in some cases a paltry sum. So, but it's one of those records that I like and I've wanted and I've searched forever. So it was a big deal for me to get. So thank you to Chubba for hooking me up with not only the orange vinyl, but then the test press of the record as well.
That's cool. That's really cool. I'm very happy for you that you managed to check that off your bucket list, so to speak. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Plus, you get it from the band member himself.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh, God, who else is going to have one laying around?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So, what about you though, Dustin? What did you get in the box?
Oh,
I suppose you already went over this last week and the week before that.
Yeah. Where did it go? I don't think I opened it yet. So I got the heads pack for this latest wave 13.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think here it is. Yeah. Which thank you for helping me track this down. Appreciate that. So yeah, I just haven't put them on any of the figures yet. So so that's probably the most recent thing. And I opened a box last week from my buddy Eric, who also usually is on the show. But he sent so much stuff and it's like just mounds of things like Black Series stuff and fun things like that. Things that he knew I was looking for. So
no, that's really cool.
Yeah. It literally feels like that's the only place I get toys from is from Eric Zombie these days.
Because he can take care of it all for you, huh?
Yeah, well,
it's like having a personal shopper.
Almost, yeah. He definitely he picked up. He knew I was looking for R2. So he grabbed R2, and he knew that I have C3PO, but I wasn't going to open C3PO until I got R2D2, and so he managed to find one in the store and was just like, "Hey, it's yours. I know you've been looking for it. Helped that it was on clearance and all that." So
that's like, always good. Seen that. There's a couple of us on the vinyl side where it's just like we pick up stuff for each other, and we're like, "I think you're looking for this, right?" And you're like, "Of course I am." It's sort of like, "Oh God, yes, I'm scared. Thank you for picking it up. Just send me the PayPal invoice, and I'll look the other way."
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so I mean, I guess that's pretty much it though. I do have a few questions. I know we have a series of questions popping up. that we'll get into.
As I was explaining to Dustin earlier, right before we came on, is like I have to slide him over to the middle of the screen so I look like I'm looking at the camera, so I can't see the comments. If I go over here so I can see the comments, I have to look over here to talk to Dustin, and it looks all goofy. So.
Well, I'll pop them up here as I see fit. I'll click this one first because it was the first one that popped in here so far. He said, "Can you squeeze in some 2003 questions like when is Shredder coming?"
When is Shredder coming? They're coming very soon. They're already on the water. I think we're just waiting for them to arrive at port and then get into the warehouse. So nice. They're on their way. They're done, finished, en route. I think, they're supposed to arrive roughly end of the month. That sometimes can slide to the beginning of next month, but they're already on their way, and that whole wave is coming. So that whole wave shipped, and it shipped at the same time as the Godzilla, the latest Toho wave with Mothra and Batra as well. Oh, so nice. All of that stuff was shipping out of the factory at the same time. So look for it very, very, very soon, but I don't have a definitive day for you. I apologize for not having that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, they're en route already.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's your answer to that one. All right. So any chance, any more classic TMNT coming? General Trag, Usagi Yojimbo, Pizza Face?
Not at the moment, but there's a lot of stuff in the ether right now. Okay. So as we keep planning and looking to the future, and what's the left hand doing, what's the right hand doing, what's going on here, what's going on there, I'm hoping that we can get back to some classic TMNT Ultimates and really make them exactly the way everybody wants them. So my hope is that, yes, we're having a lot of conversations. When, what, where, who, wow, why. What was that? In school, you had to do the five H's: who, what, when, why, and how. That I don't have an answer for you yet on, but hopefully we'll get. There's a decent chance we're going to get back on some of that.
Okay, and so just to be clear, that was due to conversations with playmates and things like that.
I'm not allowed to speak about all that on the record, so we'll just that way.
Off the record.
No. But
I hear you.
I'm cautiously optimistic that we're going to be back in that game soon enough.
Okay, all right, that's a good enough question. We have Road Pig John.
It's a non-answer answer.
Well, yeah, it is what it is. So Road Pig John is in here. I knew he was going to be popping in here because he has lots of questions about Thundercats and such. So he says, "Hello, Brian Flynn."
And hello to Road Pig.
And he's like, "Oh man, I'm actually going to catch this live." All right, so let's see. Where is the Wolfman Super Cycle was released today?
Yes, it was. Nice. And so he's probably going, "You said there wasn't going to be a lot released." I mean, there's a few little items, but nothing big. We're not putting out a whole wave of something or, sort of a big release. I think the biggest release for the end of the year was yesterday's Tribe Called Quest release. And that's sort of the last big release for the year. Wolfman, there may be another little odd and end kind of fun thing, but nothing that's like, okay, let's put a lot of muscle behind this kind of release. Okay. But the Wolfman Super Cycle is cute. Do I have one here? I think I do. Hold on.
Nice.
Look at that. Oh, he's so cute. Hold on, I gotta.
That's awesome.
And then these are all tin key wind. So you.
Oh yeah.
Drive around. Now the problem is once you wind it up, you gotta wait for it to stop. So it's just gonna sit here and ding for a few minutes. Put it against something that doesn't let it roll forward, and then it will be quiet for a minute.
Yeah.
But the Wolfman Super Cycle, yeah, the whole Super Cycle line is super fun. But it's a fairly small group of people that kind of pick up stuff like that. You know, it's a much more esoteric collectible, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's the good thing about Super 7 is you can, you know, release those types of things. The oddities that, you know, I don't know, people like who only collect Black Series and you know all those other things are gonna randomly run to collect. But you might hit someone that's like, hey, I remember having something like that when I was a kid.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, once again, there's certain things that are fairly straightforward and serious. Like at this point, like, you know, if I'm making a wave of Thundercats Ultimates, you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to get, right? But there's also time in your collection to have the other goofy fun stuff. It isn't all just one note. And part of it is just the aesthetics, what's right for the license. Like if you really think about Universal Monsters and a lot of the early toys in the 60s were all really playful monster toys. It's sort of like, you know, Batman TV show stuff. You almost expect the toys to have a certain level of camp to them that might not feel appropriate if it was Tim Burton Batman or Batman Begins or anything. But if it's going to be 1960s Adam West Batman, you kind of want it to be campy.
Yeah. But it's still wild to me that they released Happy Meal toys with the Tim Burton Batman. It's just like, wait, what? That's so weird.
You know, but there weren't putting out as many movies that could cross over like that, and it was still Batman. I mean, if you remember when that movie came out, you know, we can look at it now and put it in a time and place and sort of weigh it against other interpretations of Batman. But when that movie came out, it was like, yeah, you were comparing it to
Adam West or whatever.
Yeah. You know, and it was such a radical departure and so dark. And, you know, I think, you know, when you can look at it with perspective now and be like, okay, they made Danny DeVito as Oswald Cobblepot a little too gross. All the stuff that kept coming out of his mouth and stuff. Like, all right. I think we have enough. It's just disgusting.
Spit up.
You know? But at the same time, that Batmobile is iconic. That bat suit is iconic. Michelle Pfeiffer as the Catwoman is iconic. Like, you know, hell, a penguin with a rocket strapped to its back is iconic at this point. So it's a great movie, and it was something that was fun for the entire family. So it doesn't surprise me in that time frame, because, you know, if you kind of place it against like what was happening in pop culture at that point, like think about the Disney movies it was competing against. It was a radical departure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but it's still it fits. I get it. I get what you're saying. And we have Zombie slipping in here saying, "Hey, sorry I can't be there tonight. Been on the road all day and half the night. Have a great show." So
he's been on the road all day and all night. This sounds like a country and western song. Is he singing?
Yeah,
on the road all day and all night. He could borrow your hat and sing it.
Right. I'll have to have him do that next time. All right. So Fanboy Prime says, anything you can geek out about and bring some manner is worth joy of chatting about. That's right. That's pretty much how I framed the conversation to you when I was asking you to hop on the show tonight. I was like, yeah, man, just real laid back, just sort of hang out and talk toys and stuff like that. You know, just chill.
Yeah.
Because I don't like high stress situations. I'm not up for that. After
high stress webcast. Oh no.
Yeah. After everything I've been through, it's just like, yeah, you know, I'm not up for that. I don't want to put myself under that. I'm just gonna have a chill, relaxing conversation.
Yeah.
With a cool dude. So
sometimes cool dude.
Well, you know.
I'm trying to think like what else. This was my flea market find though for the weekend though. This was pretty cool. Ooh. Let's see if this shows up right. See, it's going to turn my screen, so I'm going to have to do 45 degrees. So hold on. So at Alameda this last weekend, this guy had a whole bunch of Mexican lobby cards. but he had an original 54 Godzilla lobby card.
Wow.
Now, I assume, like most lobby cards, it's a set of 12, which would be a nightmare to try to track down.
Yeah.
But that was a cool thing. Like, that's the kind of thing where you don't expect it to find at a flea market.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Along with my favorite book that I saw at the flea market, which was this one.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can read this. Hold on. Peter Gets the Chickenpox. No. This is a book. Like, somebody published this and it has a story to it. Like, and I love the sort of the illustration style that goes with it, but it's just like, what series of events and marketing decisions led to the publication of that book?
Right. It seems pretty wild.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like, well, what? Peter Gets a chicken. Do we need a book to explain this? Apparently we do.
Maybe.
Apparently we do.
Yeah, so. It's like, maybe never know. Who knows what's gonna happen?
That's the best. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I love going to the flea markets. One, because we're collectors, we're always looking for the thing. Like, well, what you got? What you got? What you got? What's in this bin? But two, it's just like, it's such a great opportunity to find things that you wouldn't know to look for that can lead to inspiration for product, packaging, any number of other things.
Yeah.
So I have, between that and sort of like antique malls and, when they have antique shows, I always go to all that stuff because it's like if the digital equivalent would be like if somebody was going through 10,000 Pinterest boards. Because if you think about every dealer in a 10 by 10 has what, 200 or 300 objects?
Yeah.
If there's 100 dealers, if it's 200 times 100 dealers, there's 20,000 things to look at.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have time to do that online, but in person you can do that. And you never know what weird things you're going to see and be like, oh, that's interesting. That's neat. That gives me an idea for this, that, or the other. So
yeah. I remember.
If I come to your town, I'll end up in a flea market or an antique mall, guaranteed.
Right. I mean, so that reminds me of the PowerCon that I even talked to you at even because there's so much there just to look around, and I don't get out a lot. But if you couldn't tell, but that also leads me to this question in the chat. He's asking if you're going to go to Joe Fest 26.
We are not only are we going to Joe Fest, we will be set up for so this last year at Joe Fest, all post tariff and everything else got messed up. So our Joe Fest exclusive showed up a week after Joe Fest. So we just had a little spot at Joe Fest showing off stuff, but we'll be back at Joe Fest with a booth, with exclusives, ready to go. We're there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be awesome, fun things to look at there too. Because man, I tell you, I was
the
walking up and down those aisles.
The problem is that it's Augusta in June. It's a little warm.
Yeah,
but it's a really great show. Ed and David and everybody that run it are really great people. It's a lot of fun. It's really, everybody's there to have a good time.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun show.
Yeah. That's awesome. I enjoy those types of things. I wish I could go to more.
Yeah.
I need to get out more often, but so I think he's referring to a comment you made in Ed's post where you were talking about the 2011 Thundercats line. Appreciate you going far into the Thundercats line and looking forward to a possible 2011 Thundercats line.
You and me both.
What else can you tell us about that, if anything?
That we're just right now we keep kind of trying to schedule it in, but we've got to finish sort of clearing, making sure all the rights are clear and ready to go through WB.
Yeah.
But the intent is to get into some 2011 in the future.
That's awesome. Oh, that is very exciting because I loved that show. And I was disappointed it went off the air. Do you think, and this is also probably issue with clarifying rights, but do you think you'll maybe try to finish what they started through the toys?
You know, I let's just one step at a time. Let's get to 2011 first, and then we'll start talking about it. But yeah, I mean, overtly, yes, I would like to get into 2011 as well. That doesn't mean stopping. Sort of original and classic, whatever you want to call it. But I think there's a time and place for 2011 to join up, and I'm hoping we can get to it soon enough.
Nice.
Relatively speaking, soon enough.
Right. Yeah. You have to throw in all those clauses for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get you there. That is very exciting to have happen. And I know this again is also not necessarily on the boards, but have you had any talks with the comics?
Yes, we've been actually talking to
Dynamite.
We've been talking to the comic books crew quite a bit, actually. We've talked about a bunch of stuff. There's nothing on the calendar yet, but we've been talking a lot about ways to do some stuff and crossover and some other things. But
yeah,
nothing's in stone yet.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. And so this guy is just commenting. He says, "I'm happy the toy version of Thunder Tank is here via my UK retailer. Got my order in. Hope to see toy versions as Jackalman Slide and Thunder Kittens from DX form if necessary."
You might get some of that. Can't say who, what, when, where, how. Once again, those are the 5 W's from English.
Right.
But you're more than likely to probably be on brand with a couple of those suggestions. So
awesome. You heard it here. So now, speaking of that, I'll go back to one of my other questions that I had come in. He was asking, what is the likelihood of seeing Tug Mug in the next wave?
In the next wave, I'll just put that we need him. I can't remember. We've been moving things around a little bit lately, just based on other shit that we got to deal with. So,
yeah,
whatever. But you're gonna get a Tug Mug.
Yeah.
Because it's an obvious miss, right?
Yeah. Well, we need him. We have all the others so far.
Exactly. You got to finish the team.
Yeah. And, hoping for Queen Luna maybe, and Ram Bam, the rest of the Berserkers, stuff like that,
These would all be very, very smart decisions, wouldn't they?
Oh, man. So let's see. How about we have a question about Brave Star?
Yeah. We were trying to get Brave Star for you. I'm quite honestly, when we approached Brave Star not even that long ago, again, they kept telling us that the rights were convoluted and not open. So I was surprised as anybody else when Mondo announced Brave Star. So I'm not quite sure how they're doing it or what door they're going through. But last time I checked, there was not room in the right. They hadn't cleaned up all the rights yet to make it licensable. And I would think that partner would know that we've asked about it a whole bunch of times and we keep asking about it. So it was surprising to me. I mean, the guys at Mondo are great. Hector's great. Peter's great. So I don't want it to come off like, but I was also surprised. Like, hey, we've been asking about that for years. How did they get it? It was surprising to me.
Yeah. All right.
So do I think there's enough in the sandbox? Even if there were, I don't know that I would. I feel like same thing. It's like play nice with each other. If they've got Brave Star, let them keep Bravestar,
Hmm.
you know. So we'll just see. We'll see.
Right.
I would love to do Bravestar. Like I said, I've tried to do Bravestar, but yeah, if they're doing Bravestar right now, I don't think that there's enough room in the sandbox for 2 people. Plus, it's kind of a jerk move to try to compete with somebody else's business on the collector side, because this is a pretty small sandbox in that regard. So I would focus on other stuff that we're working on and not try to, go after their thunder, if you will.
Yeah, no, I hear that. How about Conan? How about an update on Conan?
I think we've done just about everything you can do from Barbarian, short of like the burial shroud, which we talked about, and we didn't make Mako, but kind of just about everything else we've made. Destroyer still problematic. We have a sculpted destroyer from way back when, if everybody remembers, that we showed off at a PowerCon when it was still in Anaheim.
Yeah.
So hopefully one day we'll be able to make Destroyer, but Destroyer's caught up in all sorts of sort of rights issues again, because there's Conan, there's Dagoth, then you get into are you going to do Wilt Chamberlain? Are you going to do everybody? So I think it would be really cool to do, but as of right now, those rights are not cleared the correct way, so you can't make it. Like, even we're just trying to be like, can we just be Schwarzenegger and him?
Yeah.
We won't make anything else from Destroyer, and it was still like, no, can't do it.
Wow. Okay.
So hopefully one day we'll get to it, because I think that there's if all rights were available and you could make Grace Jones, Wilt Chamberlain, you could make Dagoth, you could make a couple of the Conans, I think it would be really good. So, but nothing on those characters. Who's my favorite character in those movies? What I always appreciated about the Conan movies was sort of the campiness up to them a bit. It's like, it's a little hard to take Arnold super seriously when he's talking like this, it's not as scary or intimidating, but quite frankly, I think my favorite character in there was always Thulsa Doom, because he had sort of a gravitas to him where you're like, I actually am a little scared of Thulsa Doom.
Right.
That whole thing where he turns into the snake and slithered away, like as a kid that probably shouldn't have seen it, whatever. I was just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's some next level shit right there.
Right.
And then in the other movie with Dagoth, I was like, I don't know. I just felt like when he was ripping out the horn, I was like, all right, we're trying a little too hard to rip out this horn, and it stretches and everything. I'm like, even as a kid, I was like, this feels a little overwrought. But I think the funniest part about the Conan movies for me is that he's this slave, and he's, out when the beginning of the movie, when he's like having to push the wheel and he's out in the middle of the desert, and he starts off like as a kid and then he grows into a man. If you're, that sort of slave out in the desert, like, how are you getting enough food to become this big? Like,
right.
And how are you working out all these other, like, if
muscles?
you're a slave that's that big, you don't have him turning the wheel. You're like, I'm going to leverage this for something else.
Right.
That was always one of those plot points where I was like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Because if that worked, there'd be a lot of ripped dudes out there.
Yeah, I'd be turning a wheel myself.
Doing the wheel workout. Right. Like, I just got to push this wheel for 8 hours a day and I'll look like Arnold. Right. All right, let's go.
Yeah. I'd do that. I mean, I don't know. But whatever this dude's name is says, yeah, we love you. Yay.
Well, I think he's speaking to both of us, since it was a we, or maybe it's we plural.
I think it's we on his end.
You think it's a we?
And he says, make more.
Make more. All right. We'll make more.
Yeah.
We'll make more. I don't know what of, but we're gonna make more of it. But I appreciate the positive sentiment.
Yeah,
2011 Thundercats.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have the Thundercats are the slender cousins of the Thundercats.
Yes, they're very svelte.
They're very svelte, but yes, the 2011 Thundercats. We'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I'm here for you.
Yeah. Okay, so this is from Road Pig. He says, I want Tashi and her crocodile guards, Brian.
And if you were going to go down that route, everybody would have to buy at least 2 crocodiles because she's got to have 2 flanking her at all times.
Well, that's what I did with my my Thunderian guards. I brought 2.
There you go.
2 Thunderian guards. So I'm here for you, Brian. I'm here for it.
Yep. And don't think we haven't talked about Tashi and the crocodile guards. The crocodile guards are really cool.
Yeah.
And that floating barge that she has,
the
whole thing is really rad.
Yeah. And it's just like, how else can we make this happen? I mean,
yeah. One step at a time. One step at a time.
So, okay, talking about one step at a time. I know we've talked about this before. However, the Thunderstrike. Is it anywhere on your upcoming agenda or thoughts or anything you can do to?
Not really. Sort of like the Mirage for Silverhawks. It's like, it would be really cool, but I can tell you that most of those large vehicles just barely make the cutoff. And so if you're not the most iconic vehicle, it gets very tricky very quickly. Okay. So that's why, we've done a couple of smaller vehicles. Those seem to work better for people. But it's not to say never on any of this stuff. But we really got to sort of pace out when and where and how often we do that stuff, especially too, because the room it takes is kind of monumental.
Yeah, I've seen some in person, and it's just like, that's crazy. But cool. I want
exactly. Like this is the same thing. Like there, I don't know if you can see it up there, but there's a Snake Mountain up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a test shot, as you can see. It's in weird colors.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can hear the motorcycle outside. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Ah,
it's all good.
Dude, I'm going to pull up outside your window and just run the engine for a minute here. But it's the same thing. It's like, you've got a Snake Mountain and a Cat's Lair and Thunder Tanks and pizza vans all in your space. It's like it gets full real quick.
It does, but if you have an entire basement dedicated to it, it's
if you have an entire basement dedicated to it, you could fit a bunch more vehicles in there that I'm clearly missing out on.
Right. So especially like the Thunderstrike that's definitely on my bucket list to have. And I don't know if you've seen the Four Horsemen's dragon that they unveiled. It's on that scale for me. That's how big of a deal it is to me.
And those guys, the Four Horsemen, Jim, why am I blanking? Like as I'm picturing them all, you've got Jim, you've got Corn Boy, you've got Eric. They do such great work, and they could not be nicer people. They're absolutely lovely. So just same thing. I'm always like, congratulations to them for every bit of success that Mythic Legion is having. They deserve every bit of it. And I hope it gets even bigger for them. They're absolutely great dudes that make great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty much, we talk about them on a weekly basis because there's always something to talk about in the community, especially we're always talking about that. So, it is what it is, but yeah.
But you know what? They are making this, they're doing a great job of like making the stuff they want to make, and they've found their audience, which is great. And it doesn't, it's gotten to be a decent size, but it doesn't have, and that's part of it. It doesn't have to be everywhere and everything for everyone. It can be, hey, this group of people really liked this. And I think a lot of it is the quality of the toys is phenomenal. But more than anything, it's also the quality of the community that collect them.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, it is a very pleasant, for lack of a better description, group of people. Not a lot of assholes collecting mythic legions.
Yeah, and usually the ones that do usually end up seeing themselves on their way out. They're always just like, yeah, this is, it's just how it is. I've seen a lot of people go in part ways, I suppose, than I have, come. There are always people coming into the fold, so to speak.
And I keep stating that, but yes, great dudes, great product,
absolutely,
great people. Why wouldn't you want to hang out with those guys?
That's right. So we have a comment saying, Red Sonja movie?
There's different things with the movie. The movie has different owners than everybody else. And, we were asked a long time ago to make figures of Red Sonja, sort of comic book version, which I believe Boss Fight made in the end. And I don't want to say this to have anybody interpret it as any slight to Boss Fight, because it's not that at all. But generally speaking, I try to stay away from the whole sexy girl toy angle. Red Sonja is a classic character, and we all grew up with it. But at the same time, if you go back and even looking at Red Sonja #1, She-Devil with a Sword, it's like, it's busty redhead in chainmail bikini. It's like, we're not really drawing this for like kick-ass action. We're drawing this for a lot of titillation at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people that make sexy girl stuff on a range of very tame to all the way into like go to Japan and find bondage model kits, right?
Yeah.
And I just, in general, for me, especially with somebody with 3 daughters, I'm just like, I don't find it is interesting. I'd rather have a powerful female character than one that makes me go hubba hubba hubba, kind of thing. So in that regard, even though Red Sonja is a classic character and everything, I just felt like that part of the subgenre was really just sort of derived more for the male gaze than having a kick-ass character. So like, I'll use She-Ra as an example. Like, She-Ra is really tricky because if you look at She-Ra in the cartoon, it's like they're just drawing a 26-year-old woman in stilettos wandering around. And it's like, okay, like, the same time, Prince Adam, and then everybody goes, like, if you go, oh, well, it's He-Man, it's a dude in a bondage harness, like, of course gay men are going to be excited. People go, oh, how is that possible? I'm like, like, you got to kind of take both sides at the same time.
Yeah.
So but she doesn't reduce herself in a way that makes it like that. So I felt like when we were making her, I was like, okay, we're going to make her faithful to the cartoon, but we're also not going to dial it up. And what you see so often is somebody takes, okay, she's fairly voluptuous in the show, but if I make it 110%, people go crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll use a perfect example. We made 80, 90 Ultimates for Masters of the Universe. I only ever heard anybody complain about the thigh gap on one figure. There's nobody that picked up He-Man or anybody else and then complained about the thigh gap. I'm like, really? Tells me more about you than me, probably.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a really tricky space. So in that space, just me as a person that makes toys, I'm going to shy away from something like, I'm not the company that's going to make a Bombshells line or something like
okay.
Or it's a Betty Page figure. I'm not saying it's wrong for somebody else to make it. I'm not saying it's wrong for you to own it. Yeah. But I'm saying as the toys that I want to make, I don't particularly want to make the toys that people buy for reasons above and beyond the sort of the innocence of it, for lack of a better description. So, and it's always funny because somebody will go, but you'll make a satanic blood splattered figure. And I'm like, all day. Because I find that funny and humorous. And to me, that's light. And where somebody else might be like, I will never make a satanic figure for my line because that crosses a line for me.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And that's fine.
Yeah.
So in my case, it's like, that's not the kind of toy I want to put out into the world. And you can get it from somebody else then. I feel like it feels like I went on a soapbox there. And it's just more like if we're talking about Thunder, like you brought up Tashi, it's like, okay, cool female character, but not reduced down to a bathing suit.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, that's really cool. And she's part of the story and she has a reason for being. So I'm happy to make that all day long.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like when we made Alien toys, when we were making the first Alien reaction figures. And all these guys were like, well, when are you going to make Ripley in her underwear? And I'm like, that's not the part of Ripley. That's not the part of Ripley that's cool to me.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not making Ripley in her underwear. That's for somebody else, kind of thing. And, and it's just weird because I spent so many years spent so many years in Japan that I'm always very wary of that line where all of a sudden it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a little creepy.
Yeah.
It's already weird enough that we're surrounded by a wall of toys. Like, and then it's like, and here's my sexy girl section.
Right. Yeah. It seems very slippery slope for a lot of folks. Because I feel that way when I'm looking through toys. It's like, oh, here's some cool female barbarians or whatever, and then it's like, whoa, definitely went too far. Nope, go back.
And like I said, and I don't want to cast aspersions on people that like that. Like Lady Death was huge for years and years and years, and that's full blown what it is. And that's great for some people. It's just not what I'm going to make. I guess that's the point. It's like, I'm not going to judge you for liking it, and I'm not going to judge you for making it. And it probably will be successful, but it's just not something I'm going to make.
Yeah.
So, so I want to, because somebody's going to take this as being very judgmental. And it's not meant. And where I was trying to go with that is maybe over explaining the reason why I chose not to make that toy. But the people at Boss Fight are really nice people and they do good work and they made it. And I'm sure a lot of people were really happy with it. So it's a win for everybody.
Yeah. And I know the people that bought it and stuff like that. Yeah, that's really cool.
And the same thing. It's still like, no, she is a classic character. But just for me, it's like it was a little on the edge of where I didn't want to be.
Yeah. I have a follow-up question to that because I know we've talked about the thigh gap on Chitara that you got.
That's another one I got brought up on Chitara where people are like, thigh gap. And I'm like, what do you think about the thigh gap on Lino? Well, why would I be looking at his crotch? I don't know. Why
exactly? Why? But I was just curious. Did you get the same comments about Pumaira?
Not as much.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I mean, she has sort of like the skirt thing, and I guess it didn't.
It's not as overt. It's not as obvious because you can't see it the same way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good. I think for Thundercats 2011, because I think they both sort of wear skirts in that. So yeah. Take that off your plate.
Yeah. Get that right up there.
All right, so I want to shift gears here.
I took 20 minutes to ramble on a topic that no one cared about. Half the stream people dropped out.
No,
sorry,
I mean,
streamers.
It was interesting to me, so I enjoy talking about She-Ra and Thundercats and all that stuff. But I do want to.
While we're on She-Ra, real quick.
Yeah.
No. Did anybody watch the reboot from like 5 years ago?
Yes.
I thought it was fucking great. I don't know what you guys thought. I thought it was a really great show and really smartly done. It, you know, especially, you know, like I said, my kids watched it and loved it. So I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. My daughter and I watched it and every episode multiple times.
Yeah. The Scorpino was their favorite. They really liked her. But I would have liked to have seen that go on and like, okay, where's that show going to go to in the future? Like, feel like there's more there.
It could have. I kind of feel like, okay, they just left it at like, okay, here's where it ended for this group of characters. But I feel like they missed a beat. They could have brought Prince Adam in. And
that's where I'm like, okay, you've tied this storyline up in a really complete bow. Now, how does it start to tie into the greater universe, and what's the next adventure?
Yeah, I think that would have been cool. But and you could definitely introduce some He-Man characters in an interesting way, and I think it just gets pretty exciting from there. But I'm glad that it ended where it did, because I hate having loose ends and things like that. It just bugs me in my writer's brain. It's just like, no.
Yeah, exactly. All right, sorry. You were going to say something.
No, I want to ask this question from my buddy Dash. He wants to know from the original General Flag. Oh, these are his. Okay, here's the question. He would love General Flag.
General Flag and Major Juanita Hooper, aka the Baroness.
Yeah. No.
I think if you're talking about Major Juanita Hooper, I think you are so obscure at that point. I think it would be difficult for a lot of people to sort of get that one. I think there's, you know, it's sort of like people always like to, you know, like, are you going to make Hector Ramirez?
Yeah.
And are you going to make the Viper? And I'm like, the Viper's really funny until like, here's a 3 3/4 picture of a guy coming to wipe the windows. Like, once it was on card and you're going to have to pay money for it, is it really still funny? I'm not sure. It like, I love that it happened, but I don't need to buy that. And I think Hector Ramirez falls into that, and I think unfortunately probably Major Juanita Hooper as well. We've talked about General Flag before, you know, because depending on like, is it Flag from the miniseries? Is it Flag from the comics? Like, he's got a couple different looks. The miniseries General Flag is sort of kind of like just more of a heavyset guy in a generic green suit. Like, would you rather have that General Flag, or would you have a new cool Joe? Or Trooper possibly. So I kind of feel like people might be more interested in the Troopers and stuff, but he's always kind of kicking around in the background, but he's never really risen up enough to be on the top of the list.
On the top of the want list or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe this goes along with our conversation about the Thunderstrike, but they're saying
Castle Plundar. Yeah, just go big.
Just
no
like,
problem.
You know.
You just come on, let's go.
Want a Castle Plundar. I was going to say Sky Tomb, maybe.
Yeah. All of it. I mean, all of it would be cool to make. The question is, are there enough people that can afford it? Because the hardest part about all of this is nothing's getting cheaper.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, let's just say all things were equal, right? And we had to do another, and it was another Cat's Lair that was coming out, right? We were trying to do Cat's Lair now. I can guarantee you tooling prices are up and plastic prices are up. But even if we say all things equal, going to cost 20% more now than it was, a year ago. So you're adding another $100+ $125, $130 to every single unit just to bring it in.
Yeah.
Like it just gets to a point where it's just, I don't know, say fiscally irresponsible, but there's plenty of us that are fiscally irresponsible when it comes to toys.
Look at me, Brian. I'm fiscally irresponsible as it is.
Is this a group? Can we talk openly? Are we in the safe? Are we in the safe tree? It just makes it really tough when it's like, they get so expensive. Like, can enough people afford it to make it work? And like I said, most of them just barely cross the threshold anyways. So I think, well, I'll reframe it. We won't stop making them. We're going to make something big and crazy every once in a while just because, but we got to really pace ourselves. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. My wallet appreciates that. I'm still recovering from the cat's lair. So,
but hopefully it was worth it.
Oh, totally.
It's stupid.
It is insanely huge. I haven't even got to play with it all the way because I started building a base for it to sit on, so that way I could actually get to all sides of it. And it's like, okay, now I have to wait for more money to finish building the base. So I'm waiting, and it's right there. It's like, I just want to play with it. Come on.
That reminds me that I keep forgetting
the mat. Yeah.
The mat. So yeah. I just need to get that digital file and get it online. I literally was writing that down. It says PDF of mats of cat's lair.
Yeah.
like, hey, remember you said you were going to do that? You didn't do it yet. Come on, get to it. Like,
yeah.
Right, I gotta get to it.
So Secrets of Nim. Would you make a series in Nicodemus? Nicodemus. I can't talk.
I think with Secret of Nim, that's a really terrifying, scary movie when you're a little kid. That falls into the Disney camp again, though, and we're not really on making anything with Disney right now. We don't have an active license, so we're not in there. I was actually really shocked that when we did The Rescuers, maybe it was just me, but as a kid, that movie was so scary, but so cool.
Yeah.
But that pre-order did terrible would be a polite term. So that one didn't come out. I feel like the Secrets of Nim, you're kind of in a similar person that was like, oh, I was a kid and that movie scared the shit out of me, but I'd like some figures from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secret of Nim was cool, but it was definitely a little spooky.
Yeah, I remember that movie, and I can agree.
But yeah, with the Rescuers, when they put Penny in the well and all that, and all, but like, man, as a kid, you're just like,
I know, Rescuers, and then Rescuers Down Under. I remember going to the theater to see that.
See, now Rescuers Down Under, I'm like, meh, whatever. But like the
I just remember my mom freaking out.
Like if you were to bring it up without me bringing it up just cold, remember the Rescuers? You know, you're going to get that sort of flash that goes through. You're like, whoa! I remember being terrified of that. You know, like
the Rescuers Down Under. No, no, I hear that. I just remember the main thing I remember is going to the theater to see it, and my mom was freaking out as the big falcon thing went over the cliff. She was grabbing the arms. No. She was afraid of heights.
Yeah.
She was freaking out. That's the thing I remember the most, not anything else. Oh, but I washed my hands when? Yesterday. It's just like, oh, poor Fievel. But anyway, how about Inhumanoids?
Inhumanoids are tricky. They are partially owned by Mattel, but Hasbro, and partially owned by outside people. I've been asking about Inhumanoids for a long time. I feel like as a line, other than sort of the big three monsters, there's probably not much there, but those big three, if you could make Tendril and everybody, like, I think people would go crazy for them. but the rights aren't cleared up, and it's sort of a tricky one because it came from an outside inventor, but then it changed internally. A lot of the parts and pieces, the name changed, a bunch of stuff, and so who really owns what is just debated. So, and there doesn't seem to be a massive undertaking to figure it out because there's not anything that they're doing with it. So it's not getting resolved. There's no impetus to do it quickly. But it's something we've been asking about for years because I think those 3 giant monsters are just, in terms of like classic toys, like I think for a lot of people, they didn't see them when they came out. They just encountered them at a vintage show or at a shop or a flea market or something. And you're just like, what the hell is this giant monster? What is this thing?
Right.
And then you're like, I don't know what it is, but I love it. I got to have it. So,
yeah. I think that was me when RPJ, as I call him, he was talking about him on one of the chats in the groups. And I'm just like, wait, what is this? And I had to go look it up to see what the heck they were. And it's like, I didn't know about these. What?
Yeah. And it's like the small ones, whatever. But then the big ones, they're insane. They're bonkers. They're awesome. Especially Tendril. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know we could take an informal poll. What's everybody's favorite in humanoid?
Yeah. Let's see. Sound off in chat if you're hanging out watching still. And
you're one of the 3 viewers.
we have 20, roughly 2016, 17. It's been hovering around there. So we have a question. What happened with the worst Ultimates, Brian?
You'll see some stuff again in time. It's all getting sort of worked on in tandem with a whole bunch of other stuff. I agree on the Red Tiger one. We've talked a lot about him among others, but there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the worst. And whenever that all gets sort of baked, you'll see a lot of stuff coming out. There's a whole bunch of unreleased worst figures. There's one of them right here. So he's
That's awesome.
He's got a candle inside there.
Oh, that's cool.
That. But that's an unreleased worst figure.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on with worst.
Nice. Well, that's good to know. So that's for RPJ, and let's see, Red Tiger. Yep, we got that. And then I want to be respectful of your time. We have a lot of questions still.
All right.
Barreling through, but
we'll rapid fire some of these.
Okay. We got okay, here we go.
Filmation Ghostbusters. But Filmation Ghostbusters is being made by Mondo right now.
Okay. About Big Trouble Little China.
We did it a long time ago, 10 plus years ago in Reaction, and then which we could do much better these days. But it's been remade by a couple other people since then. I feel like it's, I could be wrong, but I feel like the market for Big Trouble is sort of satiated. I feel like, the 3, I'm blanking on their names. The 3 guys in the hats, the lightning guy, the 3. Why am I blanking on their names? Terrible.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
See, now you're missing out. Like that'll be a great sort of fun Friday night movie for you, Dustin. Make some popcorn, watch Big Trouble, and just kind of it's a really good level of camp and ridiculousness that only the 80s could provide.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever seen any of our other shows, but we do a Friday night. We talk about other movies, and we're always picking movies that I have never seen before.
Well, it sounds like you got some catching up to do, Dustin.
Yeah, I do. I'm like Captain America with my book, trying to write down
things to do. No, the Jack Burton and sort of the three. God, I can't remember why I'm blanking on the name, but the three. Come on, what is it?
Kurt Russell. Those
Yeah, Jack
90s
Burton.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of those, but those are sort of the core, those four figures are what everybody wants. And then you kind of maybe want a few other characters, but
yeah,
Lopan maybe, but I feel like it's been done a lot. So anyways, all right. Speaking of Motu, big year next year with a new movie. Could we see OG cartoon figures done in the deluxe? I mean, we constantly ask Mattel if they'll let us play, but every time we ask them about once a year, and they go no. So
yeah, they're
maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe
there's a lot of Motu.
There is
hasn't been touched, and there's a lot of stuff to do, but Mattel's very protective of it, which is fine. It's theirs; they can be, and also hopefully one day we'll be able to do some stuff with Motu again. Call me girl, I'm here.
Yeah, right. So we have love the new wave of G.I. Joe reaction. Give us a hint for Wave 7.
I can't give you a hint for Wave 7. I try to keep these things secret, but it will show up in late March, early April. Most likely April. It's scheduled for April. We're going to see if it moves a little earlier. So you've got a little bit of a wait ahead of you, unfortunately, because Wave 6 got accelerated. So there's a larger gap before Wave 7. But that's your big spoiler is Wave 7, April. Hopefully we can schedule out for March before Dustin dies by
I know.
You swallowed crooked, didn't you?
I did.
That's what my mom calls it. I swallowed crooked.
Swallowed crooked. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh man.
See, because when you go wrong pipe, it doesn't sound good. But if you say, "Oh, I swallowed crooked," you're like, "Oh, that's kind of cute."
Yeah, it makes sense.
How about Cobra Commander as a snake in the Transformers episode? Only humans. We've talked about a bunch of those different things. One step at a time.
Okay. We have a question about Hanna-Barbera. And
about Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, no, they just said Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera. There's an A in there. Nothing right now. No, I like all that stuff. I feel like that's a much more casual customer for the most part, and not really somebody that's really looking for highly articulated action figures. But I could be wrong. But yeah. I don't see a lot of people breaking down my door for Mighty Mouse. And I'm not saying that dismissively. I'm just saying, we talk about a lot of these things. Like there's a lot of that content that we really like all that Hanna-Barbera stuff, the Looney Tunes stuff, all of it. It's really cool. But like, if I made a deluxe version of Bugs Bunny, is it something you want to put on the shelf or not? I'm not sure it is.
Certain collectors, maybe.
Yeah, there's always somebody, but are there enough somebodies to make it worth making?
Yeah. And this is something I've heard a lot of people talk about, the Rankin Bass Lord of the Rings stuff.
But that's being made right now by who just announced it? Was it Diamond Select that announced that and showed it off at San Diego Comic-Con?
I don't know.
Somebody showed it off. They showed off Bilbo and Gandalf and I think Gollum.
Oh, okay.
But it is, somebody is working on it right now.
Okay.
We talked about it a lot when we first inquired about it. The rights were sort of up in the air because you have two sides to that. You have the Rankin and Bass side, plus you have the Lord of the Rings side. So you have to get both sides. But even then, both of them were like, we weren't sure where our rights start and where they stop. So a lot of times they'll be very clear about who owns what, but they won't know who owns the merchandising rights.
Yeah, okay.
Like we know that we own this part and we know we own this, and they own, like in that Rankin and Bass one, like Rankin and Bass would be like, oh, we know we own the character design and we own the movie, but the storyline and the names are all owned by the estate. All right, well, who owns the licensing rights? We don't know.
We don't know.
You know, and then how do you, and even if you say they want to work together on it, well, how much does one side get versus the other, and all of this, and who's got approval rights and who doesn't, and so it can get kind of convoluted sometimes.
Okay. All right. Super Cyborg
Burble. That's kind of gross. I don't know to take them apart. I think what we need is more.
Pretty fun.
We clearly need more burbles in our life, though.
Yeah, I do. I can see that. Yeah. But Deathstalker 2025 remake reaction figures.
Deathstalker 2025. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that.
I don't think I've heard of it either.
Educate me a little bit here. I don't know what was Deathstalker 2025, and I assume it wasn't something made this year.
Yeah, I guess not. Let's see. Dark Horse. Any possibility to get Visionaries, Brian?
Oh, I cannot confirm or deny that rumor.
Deathstalker 2025. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, there is a Deathstalker remake released in 2025, Sword and Sorcery film. Interesting.
I'll look it up later. I don't know anything about
it. It was featuring practical effects and a tongue-in-cheek tone similar to the original cult classic. With the U.S. release in October 2025 by Shout Studios. Did not know that.
That was just 2 months ago. I don't know anything about it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, someone saying the monsters are great. Yep.
Generally speaking, that's always true.
Oh wow, yeah. Just came out October 10th. Gotcha.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I apologize for taking up this long. I appreciate you coming and
yapping about toys and talking about stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going on tirades about things that no one else cares about.
I will say it was very interesting to hear you say that the Pumira didn't get the same kind of backlash that both She-Ra and Pumira, or not She-Ra and Cheetara did. Yeah. So that's interesting. So it must have been the skirt type thing. So must have been it. But
yeah, I mean, it just it's whatever. We had enough on that. Any other Reaction Plus? Come on, there's a lot of Reaction Plus. We've already shown you stuff like Back to the Future's coming. You got Micronauts, you got G.I. Joe, you got Universal Monsters. There's other stuff coming too. Lots of Reaction Plus. Come on.
We got lots of stuff. We got lots
of stuff. What do you need? I got all I got. I got the Universal Monsters for you. You want a side of Back to the Future? You need some Micronauts? You want some G.I. Joe? What do you need? I got it. Yes. More Reaction Plus.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that sounds interesting. So, again, like I said, thank you for taking the time, and look forward to having you on again soon. Super Burble. Super Robo Burble.
Super Robo Burble. We'll give him a cape. No, Burbles. More Burbles to be made. That is for sure. Yes.
More Burbles, Thunderstrike, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. I appreciate it. And thank you for coming out and hanging out.
Of course. Thanks everybody for sticking through this thing. And everybody. But have a great day.
Yeah.
Buy stuff you like.
Yep. Thunder Nerds Ho.